G'day subscribers. Today we're going to talk about cigarette lighters in your FJ Holden. Your Jules Knight on Jive Talking Garage. So we've done some other episodes on lighters, but I got two in last week. There was two different suppliers. Presslight were one of them for Holdens, but definitely a genuine accessory. This is sheet number 20, and it was one of the first accessories that was made available to your Holden, even from the 48 model onwards. But This is what I got last week. I got another two. I'm not trying to stockpile them and corner the market. They just popped up and I thought, yeah, okay, that's interesting. And what was interesting to me was the little bracket that came with this one. So I got two. So first of all, let's look at them. Now these look the same. They look the same, but they're different. You know, that one's got a complete body on it. Ooh. And this one doesn't. So, you look, same dog, different eyebrows. So you can see close, they're similar. Look, they both do the same job. And it's really a matter of different manufacturers. So, you know, what I find with Holden is they're 6 or 12 volt, obviously 6 volt for the 48 and the FJ. The one I've got has got the 6 volt written inside there, and I've showed subscribers that. But when you compare these bodies, this contact here to provide power to the element in the cartridge, well, that's on a nut and thread situation there, and you can see it's actually got it's got two nuts, and then this goes directly to the power takeoff behind the light switch, whereas this one, it has a different type of contact on it, such that, you know, it's a push on, pull off. However, that's fine. But look, what I liked about it was it came with this little bracket. Now, I've made this little bracket before out of steel. So I'm just grabbing a piece of steel. So that's mild steel. So I've manufactured that out of that. And it was bloody hard work. And then when I got that right, well, then I had to turn my pedestal drill into a big drilling machine and you know, size out the hole. So it took a bit to set up and a bit to and a lot to actually to establish it all. But look, hey, it worked. Now this one here has got little points on it that grip into the back of the dash or the back of the bracket as well. So if it's with a bracket, obviously it's going to jump onto the back of the bracket. But if it's in the dash, well, then this will bite into the paint as you do it up. But on my FJ, the bracket that I got has got NASCO written across here. And at the end of the video, I'll show you the one I'm on. Whereas this one doesn't. But I have to say, in comparing them, they are exactly the same thing. And with a lot of things that were made by NASCO, if NASCO gave them an order for 100, well, they might make 100, but it might be a run for 150, which is, you know, 100 for the NASCO order, and then they would be, you know, engraved along here, and then sold to NASCO to fulfill the order. But then they'd probably make 50, for instance, half the order run, so they'd make 150% of the order, and then they would run the others plain. Now you see that also with tappet covers. I think it's CSO or CSA that were the manufacturer. They would run the alloy tappet covers, and that has a NASCO part number, and they've got a little diamond at the back that says NASCO, and then the little circular impression with the brand on it, the stamp from the mold. And then there are some that you see that are just plain and don't have NASCO written on it, but they are exactly the same. So obviously the Holden engineers have provided them with the drawing. Okay, we want you to make a bracket that's, this angle, and that's what the dimension is, and it's that wide, and it has this hole, and we want a suitable lighter to go through, and the lighter shall be such and such, and the bracket shall be drilled with 2 holes and will be half an inch or an inch or whatever it is, such that the Holden engineers were specifying the design of whatever the part was, but then the manufacturer was actually making it. Now don't forget, as far as the little stuff was concerned, Holden didn't make anything. Don't forget your lights, Bosch. I'm talking from an FJ perspective. Lights, Bosch. Tyres, Olympic. Glass, Pilkington. The list went on and on and on. General Motors was very good at stamping up panels and welding them together, framing them up, and then preparing the bodies and making the interior and manufacturing the engines and gearboxes and all those sorts of things. But as far as this little intricate type of thing was concerned, this was done outside the shop for people like Presslight and so on, for them to do it. But yeah, look, very interesting, but certainly shows you that General Motors Holden sent these out, and in some cases the supplier put their names on them, and other times they didn't. So I'm just pulling this up for you, and so that's my panel wagon, and you can see the shot there of the NASCO engraved on it. So look, it's interesting. You never know what you're going to get, but definitely 2 different types of styles, same thing. And with the cigarette lighter, there was 3 different places you could see them. Above, the early ones were above the glove box button, and then I've also seen them above the light switch, which made it really easy for the driver. And then a little bit later on, like for instance on Basil's 55 model, above the choke, and then in line with the radio buttons around in that area, you see a lot of specials with them drilled into the dash, into that area. But this is really just, this is a pretty stock standard type of universal part that could be used pretty much on anything that would be, available through General Motors Holden dealer, Wybrock, the old Repco, I suppose, because Wybrock was a subsidiary of Repco. But look, very interesting. And the good part these days is, even if you've got a 6-volt Holden, well, they're a great recharger for your mobile phone. So from that perspective, they were able to be installed in a car and keep your in touch with the outside world as far as keeping your phone charged, running your GPS, an electronic speedo in some people's cases. We were just talking about that yesterday. But cigarette lighters, a handy little thing. We had 2 of them arrive. The first location, I said, above the glove box for the earlies, then above the driver's headlight bulb, headlight switch, I should say, sorry, and then the third one located near the radio knobs, But then there was the fourth location, which was under the dash, but you needed this type of bracket to do it. And I've got one, John Harvey's got one. This is the third one I've seen, and this was really the reason I grabbed it, because, I'll use it myself. But there you go, folks. Cigarette lighters in your FJ Holden. A really great boon to have then, and a wonderful advantage to have now to use for your modern conveniences. You're with Jules Knight on Jive Talking Garage. Don't forget, share, like and subscribe, but more importantly, enjoy your Holden.